Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we are back to watch BBC's Class. We are on the final episode.
The finale.
Of the one series that they've done so far. If you're saying to yourself, Jeff and Heidi, you're wearing the same clothes you were wearing in the last episode.
Yeah, we are.
We're watching them back to back because we don't want to wait to find out what's going to happen. And because we're filming other shows and we're working these two back to back. So we're going to jump into the finale and let you know what we think. But first, a little bit of recap of what happened last time. So we've gotten 2 episodes back to back where we saw what happened to the kids in class. And then the last episode was really what happened to Miss Quill while she, while the kids were shunted off out of time and out of space, what she was going through to get that Arn out of her head.
Mm-hmm. We found
Tire
out
Arn, or whatever it was.
We found out what that quill do.
Yeah, and so, but she was left with an impossible situation.
Yes.
The other alien who helped her, the shapeshifter that helped her get that thing out of her head, she was kind of forced to, only one of them was going to survive the situation they found themselves in and escape from the Cabinet of Souls. And
Doom.
Yeah, and so tough call there. Neither one of them really wanted to fight the other, but they found that they had to. Miss Quill came out on top, of course, because she's a lead character for this series.
Also, we saw that she had rescued the prince at the end of the other
episode. So there's really no question about that.
We knew she was going to make it out.
And now she's back with a scar, and guys dig scars. And she's got...
Do you dig her scar?
I mean, it works for her. She's an alien warrior. It works.
Okay.
She's got the, she's got the new hair, longer hair. Clearly, she's been through the ringer since the kids last saw her. But she comes in at the end of the episode and basically tells the prince that, hey, I got that thing out of my head. I'm done with you. Got my weapon back. Things are about to change. Peace. And then she passed out. And then there was something moving around in her belly.
You had a sudden pregnancy, which is kind of how alien pregnancies seem to happen all the time.
Right. Vampire pregnancies too.
Oh yeah, that's so I've heard. I don't know
if there's like goddesses involved and all kinds of weird stuff.
Sparkly things.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
I'm not talking about sparkly things. I'm talking about real vampires, angels.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's
things that happened on that show. Anyway, it's beside the point. We're going to jump into this finale and let you know what we think about it.
How did you know that about the sparkly
vampires? As always, we hope that you will jump down in the comments below when we're done and let us know what you thought about the episode down there. As always, too, if you want the full version of this reaction, you can go to Patreon. That link will be down in the description. We also have a podcast. I don't think we've mentioned that in a while.
No, we haven't. We have 2 episodes right now.
That's right. Pop Culture is the name of our podcast. The link for that will be down in the description as well. And there we just kind of take a little bit more time to talk about things that interest us, anything from TV to movies to comics, anything going on in those realms.
Yeah.
We chat about that. I actually have an interesting idea for our next episode. I haven't pitched it to Heidi yet.
Oh.
Wish me luck.
Oh.
But
actually, we toss around ideas about what we think would be great things. And we've done stuff before. Like if you look through our catalog, you'll find that we've done like things like, top 5 nicknames for Gus from Psych.
Right. Top 5 favorite Buffy episodes, I believe we did as well. We've done a few different things like that, and sometimes we just tackle other topics. I know we've talked about toxicity and fandom a time or two. We've had some episodes where we've talked about other things a little more in-depth. But most of the time we're just doing either reactions or trailer reactions or movie reviews. We do those sometimes. We even did an unhelpful movie review. Oh, and then, if you ever want to look that up, it's. And then we reviewed a really
bad movie.
Yes, we did that too.
Which we can do more of. Actually.
Yes, we can certainly do some more of that.
But let us know what you think. What you feel like we should do more of. We're definitely listening. We love the comments that we get down below.
And here's the thing. Okay, it's the thing that in the reactions that we're doing right now, DC Universe's Stargirl, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and BBC's Class. Out of those 3, we get the least number of views for Class. We could have decided after the first or second episode that there weren't enough people watching this to continue to do it. But 2 things happened. 1, we enjoyed the show, so we wanted to keep watching it. And 2, we saw the 5, 6, 7, 8 of you that were watching these episodes, and we wanted to do this for you. Because sometimes we're a part of those small fandoms. Sometimes we're a part of the groups that just like that one little weird show that never quite caught on with anybody else, but we like it.
Yeah.
And so we want to keep watching it and finish it out for you. That's why we're here. So we're going to jump into that, and we'll give you our thoughts on the final episode when we're done. We'll also kind of recap what we thought about the series as a whole. But right now, we're just going to jump in and see what happens with Miss Quill and the students that are deathly afraid of her. Here we go. Uh-oh. Wait, what happened?
No. No. Oh. What?
April.
He's
gone.
I felt poor kindness earlier. It was so fast and then gone. It wasn't like before. Where's your mum?
Leeds. She's at a convention. I haven't called her yet, April. What do I say?
What the hell is this?
Which one of you did this to me?
Is this the part where your offspring eats you?
What's it? Oh, crap, that is part of it, isn't it? Where is my gun?
What are you planning on doing with it?
What do you think? You'll use the Cabinet of Souls on our enemies. And then I will use that gun on mine.
You'll get older, you sure that? If it's one thing I
No.
No.
No!
Oh, jeez, really?
The way this is going, they're coming for your mom.
Yeah. Look out. No.
He killed her.
Who killed who?
Oh. Quill.
Oh, she's got hormones.
Are you pregnant?
Oh. Yeah.
Have I gone crazy? I want to use the cabinet.
Look at you, in your little circle, pretending to be heroes and never expecting to pay a price.
We've paid plenty.
Are you offering to help me?
That depends. Are you offering to help me?
If I have to die to stop you, I will.
So you shall.
Oh.
What was that? What have you done? So if you use the weapon on them, it hits your heart. And I die too.
Seriously, what is wrong with you people? He killed my dad. He killed Tanya's mum. He said, you are number 5.
And you had a gun
Are
on
you just
him.
going to stand around and wait to find out who 3 and 4 are?
Round and wait for what?
I still love you. I never stopped.
I know.
I beg your pardon.
We need your help.
You're pointing a gun at me.
You'll get over it. People are dead. More will die. Here's your chance not to be one of them. I'm really not interested.
Understand this. I will die before I let you through this door.
Do you really think the governors are so cold-blooded? We are academics. We research. We gather knowledge in preparation.
We're fond of standardized testing.
Well, you're like the academics
For
of
the arrival.
researching nothing. Arrival?
You can still be a part of it. But until then, you will not pass beyond this door.
None shall pass. What is it? Oh. What numbers were those?
Thank God.
You're not close enough to them to be
Yeah. No.
relaxing yet.
No.
I can see it.
Please stop. Please stop. Come on. No! 3 and 4. No, 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 no. Come on. No, no, no. What are we doing? No.
Remember me? Not so tough now, are we?
You will die.
Let's die, genius.
He'll find my brothers.
And then you'll be alone. Yeah, well, you have a choice then, don't you? Let it consume you and die yourself. Or face your future with spite, with defiance.
I feel like those are just really not good choices.
I do.
This is why she's not the school counselor.
Wait. Show me how to fight.
They try to kill you. You try to kill them back.
Step away, Quill. Come on.
That's right, Prince. You took mine. We took yours. We make quite the team, don't you think? Lovely to see you again, Headmistress.
You're going to use this, okay? You said you wanted to.
Enough! All right, Corachinus is attacking us. Tanya's right. He won't stop.
No, I will not.
He's right. Unless I go with him, people will keep dying. Tell Ram. Tell him.
I will.
Let him go.
No.
Nobody thought to call the doctor?
Send them back!
As soon as I have you,
The governors will not tolerate.
tell me what they will not tolerate. It will have the most amusing results. Here we are at the end of our standoff. I'll take the girl and everyone lives. Or by your action, Prince, everyone dies.
He's lying! He's gonna kill everyone!
Quiet, man.
That's his plan, no matter what we do!
Well. Oh, hi, Ram. Welcome to the party.
Ram's luck sucks.
It really does.
But it was said it was the command of the king.
So who's commanding them to do this? Who's king now?
He is.
You have to protect me as I do it.
Do what?
They'll move as soon as I will. They'll come for me.
I'll stop them.
We both will.
Oh, Charlie, please.
Where's the headmistress?
Yeah, just getting away.
Fight to your last breath!
I declare the enemy that endangers all of Rhodia. No.
World saving. That's cool.
That's what I call the nuclear option.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Yeah. One more. What?
I have done everything in the name of the arrival.
Then it is a shame. You will not get to see it.
Oh.
This setback is temporary. We will be ready for the arrival. Oh, yes. We will be ready on that glorious day.
Oh, boy.
What?
Oh. Why didn't it kill me? It should have killed me.
No, you have to live. You have to live with the sacrifice.
She's gone!
What? April.
Is that her?
Why is everyone looking at me like that?
Yeah, that.
All right, and that was it for the finale of BBC's Class. Heidi.
Wow. I did not see all those U-turns. Like, all those U-turns coming out of everywhere.
Lots of U-turns.
Oh my gosh. Okay, like, they were really playing for keeps here. Ram's dad, Tanya's mom, and now, I guess, April is the Shadow King, because only one of them had a heart to survive.
Right. Well, and then April's mom lost the use of her legs again.
Yeah, oh, it's okay. She was okay with it the first time, so whatever.
Yeah, so lots of big changes, lots of penalties being paid.
Cliffhangery things. Cliffhangery things. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes with shows. Like, they plan to have a second season, and then it doesn't go their way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though, now that we've seen the finale, if any of these things will be addressed in the audio.
Yeah, that makes me definitely curious. Like, is the audio just kind of like, adventures of the team before all this happened? Like, kind of showing how they were sort of like getting more cohesive before all of the, like, in the middle of all these events that were happening that we actually saw. So, that, or is it now the continuation? And interesting. The governors are... It seems like they're very worshipful of the weeping angels. We mentioned them in the last episode about, like, being stuck in a shadow, in a statue form. So that was interesting, because we were like kind of calling it out there, like we thought it would be funny, but it actually is true that the weeping angels are a part of this, apparently.
Right. For me, and I'm sorry, I was busy pulling up. I wanted to pull up what we could find out about the Big Finish stuff for Class and see what we could find out. But yeah, I'm definitely curious about, like I said, clearly they had plans to bring this thing back, which is why they left some things unresolved. But, maybe they thought if they didn't get to resolve it, they could pick up some of these threads on Doctor Who, but then Doctor Who was in the midst of changing showrunners and other things, so
so that didn't
happen either. But yeah, definitely, it was an exciting finale for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The episode before, we talked about how because we were dealing with Miss Quill and some of these, there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of hand waved away, explained away without too much detail about how we got there. This, though, it felt like we had been building towards some of these things all season, certainly with the Shadowkin.
Yeah.
It felt like, especially between Charlie and Quill as well, we've had that building for a while. Interesting to see that when she had the chance to watch him die, she chose not to.
Yeah.
We kind of hinted, we kind of talked about earlier in the season that we thought that might happen.
Right. That she would make that, she would be able to make that decision on her own, using her own free will. But we also kind of saw her, she's kind of taken on a bit of a motherly sort of form as well.
Right, which may have informed that decision. But also, she may just think that he's going to be miserable. Alive, and she wants to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say with her character for sure. But yeah, the biggest thing for me was the weeping angels there at the end.
Yeah. Did not see that coming, really.
Big surprise turn there. Yeah, I had a lot of questions about
the governors,
but nothing. I didn't land anywhere near weeping angels. So
definitely interesting. So the governors are working out against or outside
almost like
of
they
the
see
unit.
them as gods, sort of. It was a very churchy environment.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And the way that she talked about belief and faith and all those kinds of things. So, very culty kind of, in their dealings with that. So that's interesting in and of itself. Love the weeping angels anyway. Sorry that we do not get to see the wrap up to that storyline that they were building there.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the season as a whole. The series.
The series.
We only had 8 episodes to get to know these guys and gals and to get a feel for the world they were trying to build. Now, of course, if you're coming to this show from the Doctor Who side of things, then you already have
a little bit,
a basic understanding of how things kind of work in the Doctor Who universe. And this certainly followed some of those patterns. But if you didn't come into the show.
If you didn't come into the show, I feel like you could still enjoy it on its own. Like you had that weird guy that showed up in a police box in the first episode, but other than that, that was just the setup. After that, everything is kind of self-contained.
Yeah.
Except for the Weeping Angels. Then, of course, now, like if you didn't know anything about that from the Doctor Who universe, then that would be like, what's that?
Right.
So I think they're assuming that people were coming from a Doctor Who background to understand this.
Which is, in and of itself, part of the problem that I have with this series. I think, tonally, it doesn't fit side by side with Doctor Who. No. Doctor Who is more, even though it deals sometimes with more adult subject matter, it tends to deal with it in a family-friendly sort of way. So we might talk about big concepts, but we talk about them in an easy to swallow kind of way. Whereas this show, I'm not sure who it was aiming for as its audience. It wasn't as family friendly as Doctor Who. And we had, even in the pilot, we had people being murdered fairly gruesomely. We had Ram's leg cut off in the pilot episode. Even in this episode, we had moms and dads dying left and right. And, aside from that sort of gruesomeness, we've had language and sexuality and things that wouldn't normally make it into a family-friendly show. So definitely not aimed at the same audience, and yet they kind of expected you to know some of what was, what to expect from having the Doctor in that first episode. Yeah. So it was a little jarring to me, and I'm wondering if maybe the audience at the time felt a little bit of that as well.
Right.
Like it wasn't quite sure what it was trying to be.
Right, because it is tackling more adult things in more adult ways, but but it's focusing on teenagers. And the thing is, there are plenty of people who are of older, in older generations who enjoy like a fun, snappy teen show, but this is not really that. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it kind of, don't get me wrong, it was fun. And,
totally fun.
And humorous in lots of ways. But also very dark and I do kind of wonder, aside from the obvious is like, scheduling and trying to stand on their own, like why wouldn't you call the Doctor in that situation? Like if you know how to reach him, I would assume, because you talked to him before.
Quill was on the phone with him at some point in time.
Right. So, I would think that you would call the Doctor when something like this went on, just to have backup, if nothing else, or to get a clue as to how to approach it or anything.
Yeah.
So that was a little to me that stood out a little bit that they didn't make that call. It also seemed, the little flip with Tanya seemed a little odd too. She's very. Now I get that she already had some things with Charlie that she didn't care for as far as the way he treated Quill and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the flip to just being on Quill's side and kind of backing her up with the taking of the cabinet and stuff seemed a little quick to me. Didn't seem very earned for that character. Although it made a little more sense why everybody was kind of in this state after being stuck in that classroom a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah. For them, it's probably it is 6 days later, so it's not that much time. And, in teenage years, 6 days is a really long time to stew. Yeah.
And I felt like they telegraphed the stuff with April a little bit too much. I would have liked to have had, her going there with no sort of idea of a plan, but her, and I get that saying goodbye to her mom, she doesn't know what's going to happen. It may just seem like the thing to do. But by the time she was calling Ram and saying that stuff, that's clearly like, I'm not coming back.
She's going to die.
Yeah.
She's okay with it.
So I do like that they didn't actually kill her off.
Although this is not a very humorous way to live again. So.
Right. Although, if the show had lasted, perhaps they could have had the Doctor come in season 2 and do something about that. But as for, it definitely makes for an interesting premise for an episode or two. You know, to get that right. But no, I just
sitting in class all burning through the
I can't see my book for all the smoke.
Yeah.
No, but I did, you know, given that it's only 8 episodes, I did come to like these characters, and I feel like each of them served a purpose within the unit, no pun intended. That, you know, like we said earlier, I think either earlier this episode or previously in the last one, that Mateus is kind of the voice of reason. He's kind of, you know, the one he's like our mouthpiece for the audience. You know, he's saying the things that we're thinking. A lot of times, you know, April has a, you know, she plays a certain role as far as, you know, she's been through a lot, so she's willing to face some things head on that some of them, you know, are a little more hesitant to dealing. You know, Charlie's really quick to give orders, but not so quick to action. You know, that's been a kind of part of his character the whole series. So he had to kind of live up to that moment and make a call, make a choice. Yeah. And he did that in spades, certainly, in this episode. So I did feel like they paid off a lot of the character building that they did.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it was a very cohesive season. I feel like we got to know each one of the characters in a way that wasn't like a character of the week sort of episode, which I would have really, really disliked. So they kind of made it very organic, which I really did enjoy. The characters, like they're not like cardboard figures either. Like, you know, the Quill is definitely a question mark. And we kind of just, it was kind of interesting. Like towards the end, we got that headmaster and headmistress quoting like probabilities, and I'm like, you know what, you're right. We don't know exactly what everyone's going to do. I mean, we can make predictions, but everyone's still got their own choices to make. And I feel like they really kind of put that out there in each one of these episodes, and I thought that was really great.
Right. According to the Big Finish website, and we'll put a link to that in the description down below, a link specifically to this, but there are going to be 6 new full cast audio adventures. This was an article on Big Finish as of November 27th of 2019. And so the first one was supposed to be released in April. Now, given the COVID situation, who knows whether that was actually released or whether it got delayed. But yeah, two new volumes. It looks like, for download we're trying to read here. Yeah. So it looks like, volumes 3 and 4. So they've already done a couple of volumes and now they're coming back for those. So yeah, definitely curious or definitely interesting to me that since they didn't get to do another series that they're going the Big Finish route.
You've got to love Big Finish, though, because they have really made Doctor Who and that whole universe as rich as it has been over the last, 20-something years, because there was that dry spell in between the 8th Doctor movie and then the New Who reboot where Big Finish was all that there was to it. And, I don't think they came in, like, right off the bat either. So they have really been instrumental in making sure that the Who universe still has more stories to be told. So I'm really glad that they did pick this up. So hopefully it'll be something good for them and kind of just out there with the canon of everything else that's happened in the universe. Yes, yeah. I said it.
Now, if you've enjoyed our little stroll through the series of Class, now that we've come to an end, we want to hear from you. What do you think that we should do a reaction to next?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Doctor Who related. We have watched Doctor Who. We've done all of that. So, but if there's something else that you think we would enjoy watching, let us know in the comments down below, and we'll consider it. We don't have any plans right now as to what will replace Class in our schedule. We've talked about a few things. We're not going to mention those here.
Spoilers.
But we definitely have some things in mind, but we want to hear what you think as well. Also, if you want to see the full reaction to this final episode for Class, then just jump down to the Patreon link down below. $5 gets you full reactions to everything we do: Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., DC Universe, Stargirl, and Class.
I dance a lot.
She does, specifically during theme music.
Montages.
Yeah, and we always have to cut those things out for YouTube because they won't allow that.
Copyright stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, we want to, before we go, thank you for joining us on this ride. It was 8 episodes, a lot of fun, And we appreciate those of you that joined us on that journey. We hope that you'll join us for another show. Check us out, some of the other things that we're reacting to. And be sure and hit that thumbs up. We appreciate that. And if you're not already subscribed, we'd love to have you on board. We're a tiny channel. We're going a little bit at a time, but we love every single one of you that join us here. Yeah. That's pretty much it for us.
I think so. Yeah.
The world is kind of crazy out there. There's lots of stuff going on in the world, and we know that sometimes the safe thing to do is to just open up YouTube and watch something that's a little bit fun, that makes you laugh, or that takes some pressure off. And we're glad that we get to be a part of that for you. But just know, from us to you, we hope you're doing okay, that you're taking care of yourselves, that you're staying indoors and staying healthy, and that you're being kind to the people around you. Until next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.